come on. Not now. Do you, let's see, live, home. I hate that For You thing up here on YouTube now. Let's cancel this. YouTube doesn't, oh no, I don't want that. Let's go to live. And am I even listed on here? That's what's crazy. Man, there's a lot of live trading going on right now. Holy crap, how the hell do people find me? Jesus. View your channel. There we go. Morning, Joe. Morning, Eric. Man, I don't know how you people find me. I just went on live, and there were, hundreds of people. Hold on, I gotta go on there anyway. I gotta monetize this mofo. Morning, Chris. Let's go to YouTube Studio, and then content. I don't have that damn countdown and shit and get ready. I was talking with somebody last night about podcasting, and I just don't, listen, I'm not that polished. I know you people like joining me and stuff, but we're going, in fact, YouTube. Let's go to YouTube, and let's go to your channel, and then we're going to share, copy, and I'm posting it on. There we go. Morning, Timothy. Oh, you get the notification. Yeah. Hey, that's like the top subscriber thing to do, isn't it? I know nothing about this stuff, but thank you, Joe, for having notifications on. Joe's always the first one to say good morning, too. And at some point, I guess that first comment's going to be actual value, but who knows? Let me see. Let me go. I've got, so here's the notes for today. Let's see. Yesterday's newsletter, solid newsletter. Let's go to Linktree. We'll put it in the Linktree so that I have it up. Yesterday's newsletter, I mean, shit, these charts blew my mind. Mara, 80%. MicroStrategy, 73%. Coin, 93%. And GBTC up 80%. I mean, that's just like in a month, 2 months. I mean, those are all from the algorithm. So autopilot. I love auto. I tell you what, Joe. So I don't know if you got the update. My parents' X just got the update. I haven't driven my 3, so I've been driving my parents' X. But it got the single pull yesterday. And so I got the single pull update on autopilot. And it's interesting because I think it's actually better. So there was one point in autopilot, I'm driving on local streets with full self-driving, and I don't use it for stop signs and stuff like that, but I do use it around like neighborhoods so that I don't speed. And the miles per hour went from 35 to 25, and I remember on this specific stretch of road in the last one, it really slowed down. Like literally it just jerked you. And yesterday with the new update that we got with the single pull, I single pulled it, went over there, and it was great. I mean, it didn't jerk me at all. Let me go down to my Oracle earnings coming up. Costco over $600 yesterday. Okay. let's see. Social requests, not links. Right. Right, and that's right. I use single pull because I don't use the speed thing. The single pull traditionally was the auto speed, and then the double pull was the full self-driving, whatever. Shopify. Did Shopify pop? And I didn't even notice it. Ooh, Shopify did pop. It went over 70. I'm going to put these in. I mean, just, if you're not in this market, this is what kind of, people who ask, well, I'm not sure if I should get in. It's a little, Bob. That's what was my one-word answer. Should I really get in? Well, Bob. I mean, Pan W is almost at 300. Yeah. Shop is up Shop is down 1.37 in pre-market, it looks like. I don't know, maybe it's a data error from TrendSpider, but they're usually pretty accurate on that. Roblox over 40. The core portfolio, if we go to Savvy Trader, and Savvy Trader is going to have a big update next week. I just did an email with them. So I'm not 100% happy with it, but I completely understand it. So Larry, anybody complaining about free tools that change, Mint is changing, Mint is going away. Savvy Trader is changing as well. Look, here's the core portfolio. Took a dive down, it looks like. We're up 4.97. The S&P is up 4.19. And that's just since June. I mean, that was at the highs in June. We bought this at the highs. I said, buying at the highs in June. Well, you're up 4%. I'm sure you could have gotten in lower. But, for long-term stuff, I mean, it just doesn't matter when you buy. Specifically now, but you look at the Qs. We're underperforming the Qs. We're 4.97, 5.75 is the Qs. So, again, have your IWM we're greatly beating. I mean, this is where anybody that yells at me that I should be in small caps or medium caps, why? I mean, even when you go to Seeking the Alpha, here, let's go IWM. It was doing well. I mean, it's not doing horribly, but we can chart this against, and we'll select metrics. I'm going to do performance, total return. And we're going to symbols, and we're going to do SPY and QQQ. And so people are like, you should really do small caps because that's where the money is, blah, blah, blah. Why am I doing small caps again? I mean, why would you do small caps and medium caps? Look at that, 10 years, QQQ is up 400%, SPY, half of it, 200%. IWM's only up 85%. You go 5 years. Oh, is IWM doing better? No. You go 3 years. Is IWM doing better? No. You do 1 year. Is IWM doing better? No. Year to date. Is IWM doing better? No. 6 months. Is IWM doing better? No. 1 month. IWM's doing better. Fine. Small, short term. Great. It's not blowing it away. 5 day. IWM is actually beating, by a good margin for 5 days. And I think, they don't have a 1 day, or it's not coming up on a 1 day. But I just don't, You know, people bug me sometimes. People annoy the hell out of me. So let me go down this list. Bank of America over 30. Let's see. Disney's holding 90 pretty nicely. Devon, man, whew. Google's holding 130. I mean, it's been a solid hold right there. We're gonna go over some stuff. Coke is gonna get to 60. I mean, it will. Eli Lilly, I mean, it's just kind of fluttering. It'll be at 600 at one point in time. Netflix at 450. It's kind of holding that. Nvidia back at 472. That one popped. Oxy's under 60, and I should have gotten rid of Oxy. You know, I gotta put up my do not disturb. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're just gonna do this now. Let's do scans because I don't want to be on here all day again. Core investments, brokerage holdings. Nope. Energy names, probably nothing. Nope. Levered ETFs. Hibbs. This is the S&P bear, 3 times bear. I mean, you know, bears have to, something has to show up at some point in time. Nothing in the, I need to rename that list probably. ETFs that you can invest in. Yeah, it'll go to 500 again. BITW, I mean, God. This is the Bitwise 10 crypto. It got another leg up. Chewy is probably not worth getting into. I'm not even going to bring it up. Now, Dow. Dow 30, NASDAQ 100. Fastenal. I mean, that one's been a solid mover. SGen, I don't like that one. Let's go to S&P. Nope. You know, Folio. Right now. Okay. We're going to go to the 65-minute. And we're going to look at what's, oh, God. I mean, there's just so much. Google, VOO, PanW, QCOM, Microsoft, Costco, SPG, Shop, UNH, Apple, TSM, Amazon, Walmart, Meta, SMCI, NVIDIA, LLY, FBCG, Netflix, Boeing. I mean, Boeing has quietly gone to 234. Nobody's making a big deal out of it, but yeah. So, okay. I got enough scans. Let's move over here to the 4-hour run. I mean, Boeing. Look at Boeing. I mean, look at this. When it broke the 200-day, I said you've made a nice 19% or 17% in, 15 days? And let's see. If you would have bought then, you'd be up another 10% now. So I'll leave that there. And yeah, Apple. Oh, you know what? Let me get the Apple story. It hasn't hurt them though. China loss. Apple climbs back above 3 trillion among smartphone optimism. Yeah, I think that this was the story that I probably should put in there. Okay. Chris, I don't think that's a bad deal. I think that's actually a great play. I mean, you're at 234. Listen, at 230, if you look at the long term of this one, that right there is what? 230. Look at that. I mean, it's going to provide some resistance until you get above it. So I don't think you get back to the 300s. You know, you could go to 260 or so. I don't think you get back to the 300s until you reinstate the dividend. Yeah, Joe's our resident Boeing expert. He's got them in his backyard. So hold on one second. I got to blow my nose real quick. I should have hit mute. Oh, well. You guys can listen to this. I'm still sick, so everybody knows. Not like deathly ill. I'm on like 80%, 90% Gary. I still haven't exercised a lot. But Boeing right there, I think that's a solid, solid resistance level. I'll leave that in. I mean, old resistance turns into new support, so be aware that that's probably the case. But Apple optimism, let me look at home. We're going to look for the story with the biggest movers of the day. Yeah, this is... the jobs market is changing right before your eyes. Biggest stock movers today. MongoDB, I'm going to include this one. See, here's the great thing about Seeking Alpha, man. I can do no research whatsoever. Like, I didn't have a ton of time. Look at the most active. Tesla, Mara, AT&T, Bitfarms. I don't even know what the fuck Bitfarms is. Let's see. Who are they? Mining. They're another miner. Let's see. Peers. They have Mara and stuff in there. They don't even have Mara in here. Bitfarms. Let's look at 1 month. I mean, just look at 1 month. Bitfarms is up 63% in 1 month. God. Morning, Sherry. What's BB? BlackBerry Limited. Oh, $8 billion project spans 5 years. I thought you were talking about BlackBerry. I was like, Joe, we're not back in 1985. But this is what I love about Seeking Alpha, man. You can find, whether it's analysis, you can look at analysis like this. It looks even cheaper than Meta was. He's right. I mean, Baba, if you want to take a chance on this one, it just seems like it's got to go up. But, God, it's just tit for tat with the U.S. and China. And this is one of those stocks that's probably going to get lost in that tit for tat. Good for you, Chris. That's a solid one. Get ready for winter correction. Winter is coming. I mean, here's the NVIDIA ratings. Hold, strong buy. By the way, I was watching my feed on my big TV, the OLED here in the house. And man, I like the colors that came up. The black down at the bottom, the dark screen. Look good. So I might have to do this when I get back to Atlanta. I've got to redo my screens back on the home computer in Atlanta because I'm on my laptop right now. Just so everyone's aware. Here are 4 stocks to watch. I'm going to put this 4 stocks. We're going to put stocks to watch. Oh, it auto-corrected. GME. Toast, Asana, and Campbell Soup. What's Toast got? Oh, they downgraded Toast again. They downgraded Toast. Oof. ASAN and CPB. Okay. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to go back over to my profile here. See, here's the thing about Alibaba, and I want to bring this up. And I often say this. You don't have to find the bottom. You just have to find somewhere near the bottom. And so when I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this, I'm seeing we still haven't even come close to the bottom. And you're still well below that 9-day. You're up 0.1% today, but it's just incredibly unloved. And if we move this to a weekly, you can see, I think that was the support that I put 100. Weeks ago, I put that. You've gone up above it, but you've used it as resistance here back in August. And ever since then, you've just continued to slip down. So, yeah, Savvy Traders, awesome. Scott, you may not have been on. I will tell you, I had a discussion with those guys. It is changing next week. Significantly changing. Savvy Traders, significantly trading next week. I don't know the details of it. I can be as open as I can about it, and tell you they haven't shared anything specific with me. But there are, they asked those of us with followings on there to opt in to paid strategies. And I begged and begged and begged for the free one. And the free one I'm going to have is the core portfolio so people can track the core portfolio. The paid one will be the trading portfolio will be a paid one. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to continue it or promote it. It will be by, the core portfolio will be by link only. So I may have to put that in my link tree, for people to see, but, the trading portfolio will probably go to paid, not because I want to make money. It's more, I ran a website for Earthlink, with some folks, and I understand how crazy costly this data is. Just the data for the S&P, the NASDAQ, and stuff like that. You have to pay these aggregators, and they don't care the amount of traffic that you get. All they care about is $1 amount. That's it. So, for Earthlink, we had, about 1 million subscribers, and I think all of maybe 100,000 actually looked at the stock data, but they were 100,000 people that were super, they used our services. They were years on and blah, blah, blah. We actually wound up paying more for the stock services than the 100,000 people were actually paying us. And that's just for the information. So these guys are going through quite a cost to host this platform. So I'd like to, support them. I just don't know the details about what's going to happen next week, but I know one of my portfolios is going to go to paid. And I will promote it. I will push it because I do think that this is a great service. Because I do think like Shay Bular. Let me see. I thought I could find him. Hold on. Discover. Search portfolios. That's where I have to go. Shay's this guy. I mean, he's just fantastic. He really is. He's got a premium portfolio. He trades significantly. I like him. I follow him on Twitter. He's got a great Twitter handle. And if somebody were going to follow somebody, that's where I'd say go. Let's see. Let's go 1 week. Let's go 1 month. Am I even up here? Nope. We're going to go to best return. I don't even think I'm up here. This is 1 month. Let's see. The bottom is 6%. No, I'm not even up here. Let's go to most popular. I'm not even up here either. There's a bunch of people, man. 0 trades, 0 trades. This is part of the reason they're probably redoing this. 10 plus members. I guess it's not going to show mine. But I like Savvy Trader. The guys are really open about that stuff. And yeah, you do. If you want to continue to follow Scott, I would say, yeah, it's going to change. And I don't know the details, but it is going to change. That's why I typically don't. I haven't been pushing it, but I probably will push it next week just from a simple fact of I like those guys. I like the product that they put up. They're putting up a tremendous amount of money. So I respect them for that. Okay. Let's pull that down. There. Let's see. Okay. I got to get my notes together. We're going to go to Twitter first to look at. Solid list right there, Scott. Solid. Alibaba's, yeah. Alibaba, I don't understand it either, to be honest, Joe. Okay, biggest stock movers, 4 stocks to watch. Apple. JOLTS data came in. If you haven't seen it, the 10-year bond is at 0.10. Let's see. Let's go to Seeking Alpha. We're going to 10-year. 10-year bond. And we're going to put this in. IBM, we're going to look up IBM. Oh, I'll look that up on. We're going to close that down. Oracle earnings, Costco over 600, JOLT's back to normal. We'll go over Twitter there. Earnings, MongoDB, social requests, and then our scans. Okay. Toll Brothers had great, killer earnings. Killer earnings. Like, we're talking crazy good earnings. They are up 4.17, and they're up 4.17 after running this much. I mean, let's say in the algo, 68, you're up 26%. 26%, and you're up another 3-4% today. You're breaking 90. So if you look at this one from a long term, you're at all-time highs. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. You're kind of just running, and it's the housing crisis in America. So, I mean, this is just exactly what it is. It's a tough one to predict, but okay, we're gonna go there. Okay. Ooh, let me take a sip of water. Futures are way up. We're 10 minutes away from open. Okay. Oh, my fat ass. Oh. I haven't gotten on a scale since I left Atlanta, and I'm scared too, but I'm probably tipping. I'd say I'm over 170, which is not normal for me. And I watched a news report on CBS about hip replacement joints breaking. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to need hip and knee replacement at some point in time. And, you know, my insurance just sucks. It just sucks. So I have to look at new insurance. But, okay. Let's start this mofo. Good morning. It's Wednesday, December 6th. And I got a ton of notes to go through, a ton of things. First thing I want to show you is my Twitter feed. Bitcoin climbs above 40K. And these are people who are looking at their boss. Why were you late this morning? And you're going to respond, watch your mouth, because you're in on Bitcoin. You're in the crypto. And if you didn't get to see my newsletter yesterday, I posted the crypto charts and not Bitcoin, nothing like that. It's stocks that you can invest in. It's Mara in the algorithm. Just made 20%. Currently in an 80% run. You know, again, MicroStrategy, MSTR. This is up 73% in a run on the algo. Coin up 93% in the algo. Again, these are current runs that this is on, just based on the TrendSpider 4-hour algorithm. GBTC, you're up 80%, 6% gain. That's after it got you out of a 6% gain in August, September. So the algorithm works. The algorithm is available. It is this top link right here. You click on that link. You go over to TrendSpider. It takes you over here. You go view plans and pricing. Right now, if you prepay for a year, $429. It keeps going up every day that you miss it because the sales are over. I mean, you know, Black Friday sale was the best. $429 is not that much when you think about what you're getting with the charting software. Understand, A, your portfolio should be big enough. B, you should be willing to put in the work to do this. It's not plug and play. You do get the algorithms and things of that sort. You have to set up your screen. The perfect combination would be to get the paid newsletter, because I do have a setup newsletter, my setup in TrendSpider, which is a 2-part series. I'll probably make it into a 3 or 4-part series. I only have 2 because I tell you the moving averages that I have and the indicators that I use on this screen. You can see it. If you understand it, you could add it. If you don't understand it, again, I only charge, I think, $8 for the the newsletter, but I am going to raise that price. But I do give a 7-day free trial. So if you're cheap and you paid $429 for TrendSpider and you just want to get the 7-day and then cancel within 7 days because you're not interested in my weekend paid newsletter, do that. I mean, that's the thing. If you don't want to put in the work and you're just looking for casual stuff, I'd click on this second link, which is Seeking Alpha, and it's $50 off. Still a great deal. Seeking Alpha is just such a great website. But again, if you're into crypto, that newsletter yesterday was probably a good one for you. And watch your mouth. But I've got a bunch of, I would follow me on Twitter. Just because I do post during the day, probably a little bit more than the other social media from that side. Now let's talk about the Qs. I got out of TQQQ yesterday. It was probably premature. I'm not sure it's 100% premature, but here's QQQ. We still haven't really gained back confirmation over that 9-day. If we look at this one, you can see we're still under that 9-day. So I'm still a little bit concerned that we're coming back to this gap right here. And TQQQ, the algorithm has not gotten you out. The algorithm has not said, hey, get out of this. I just said, it's sticking in my gut. And I say this all the time. If you are losing sleep, if you are feeling uncomfortable, just get out. If you got a profit, just get out. If it continues to go higher, you can just buy back in. And I'm going to talk about some of the stocks that have continued to go higher in the later in the show. But biggest stock market movers today: British America Tobacco, MongoDB, SentinelOne, and more. This is an article from Seeking Alpha. It goes over everything. I will go over MongoDB in a little bit. I tweeted about it yesterday. I think if you get it cheap today after their earnings, it was a solid earnings. I think you can get that one, and I think you can trade that one well. 4 stocks to watch today: GameStop after the bell. GameStop comes out with earnings. That one will be interesting. The other interesting one in this was Toast, Tost. I actually have used Toast with some restaurants in the area where you're able to order via the app. And I've talked with the restaurant managers. They love it. Everybody that uses it loves it. The problem that you have with Toast is the valuation. It has a forward PE of 58. They're losing $309 million. This is kind of the restaurant owners. If you don't do DoorDash and you don't integrate with DoorDash directly, this is a great way for the small, medium restaurants to actually get online ordering in an easy sense at a fairly cheap cost. You've got gaps all the way above this. The problem that you have is valuation, and it's just coming back down to realistic levels. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing it was the IPO went crazy. It's kind of consolidating down here below its 50-day. I would expect this to come back up on the 50-day. If you are a long-term investor and you use Toast, I don't think you're going to go wrong with using that one. So the two ones that, again, GME and Toast, GameStop in particular, I'm not investing in this one. I'm not throwing money towards it. I simply watch it. It is a retail legend. Ryan Cohen is the CEO. He comes out. You can see the MACD is up. It's crossing down. The RSI is at 53, kind of in no man's land. It's coming off of highs at 68 and 72. So you've got gaps all the way down on this one. I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know what they're going to, come out with. It is still overpriced in my mind for the growth that they are showing. They're losing $98 million. I mean, it's only down 19%. They're not making money. Higher for longer is going to hurt this name. It is being held up by retail. So it's an interesting to watch. I'm just not investing in it. Apple had a great day yesterday. Climbed back over $3 trillion. It is at 194. I still have not trimmed this one because I didn't want to trim it just based on this little weakness. I have to by the end of the year. I'm going to take some of my profits on this because I do think climbing above this, my guess is it's going to hit 200, and again, it's going to pull back. So if you're in Apple and you're trading Apple, I don't think, $7 per share, is it worth holding on for $7 per share if you're selling like 10 shares for $70? Probably not. When you're selling, hundreds of shares like I am, probably makes sense to just dollar cost average your way out of it like you do into it. So that's my strategy on that. Jobs data. The JOLTS data came in. Futures ticked up. Again, we're looking at probably an upward opening. We're probably gaining back the confirmation in the Qs, confirmation in SPY. You're probably just gaining that back for another leg up. That's essentially what the jobs data does. And if you haven't seen it yet, again, bond rates, the 10-year bond, look at that drop. That drop from October 20th all the way down. This is what's fueling this rally, is the 10-year bond rate down to 4.15. I'll include links to all of this in the newsletter, but let's go over a little recap. Let's summarize things. Jobs declining. The job market's getting worse, which is part of the Fed's narrative, is to make jobs a little bit tighter. They won't say it, but that's what they wanted to do. Bond rates down. Productivity up. Rates are likely going to come down as well. It's all looking like a soft landing, which would indicate the Fed is going to bring rates down at the beginning of the year. Sometime in March is what the market is predicting. If that's the case, we're going all-time highs. I mean, that's essentially what you're looking at. If you look at this, and we'll just go quarterly. What this is, look, that's 2009. That's the housing crisis. This is the bottom of the dot bomb. You know, you had your recovery there. You kind of went down. You're going to continue this recovery. This is a quarterly look at the Qs. You've got confirmation, and you're back above this. You just dipped below it. You came back down. And I think Brad Gerstner put this the best yesterday. And I retweeted this out. But he said JOLTS 8.7 versus 9.3 expected and 9.4 prior. The anomaly was COVID. Excess is over. We're returning to trend. The new normal is just like the old normal. It just got there faster than expected. I think he put it perfectly. People asked me, one guy asked me last night that I was talking to, he said, hey, how do I know who to follow on Twitter? Well, sign up for the newsletter. Literally what I do in the newsletter is I'll go in here and I put Twitter people in here. If I put a Twitter post in, and let's just scroll down to a Twitter post, like this one, a Trend Spiders thing, I'll link to Twitter. Just go right there and then you just hit follow. I mean, just hit follow. It's as easy as that. You just hit follow. So if you want to know who I'm following and who I think is important, that's the way you do it. But again, Brad did that perfectly last night. One other thing that happened yesterday was Bank of America said the consumer is strong. And then right after that, American Express's CFO came out and said they saw a weak November. Well, Bank of America, you can see it was up yesterday. It's up another 1.15%. It's up to 31. Remember down here at 28 when I said you should be buying under 30? It's going to go over 30. Yeah, it's over 30 right now. And American Express, AXP, they took a leg down yesterday, and they are back up 1% today at 172. The reason they took a leg down is because when your CFO comes out and says, hey, we're seeing some weakness in this, you got to take a look at that. And if we look at a long-term on American Express, you're seeing that it's just trading in this range. It's not in the core portfolio. You got gaps down here. When it hits the 200-day, you want to buy it. When it goes above here, about 183, 184, it's got to hold that in order to not be a trade. But in my mind, it's probably a trade. Understand that Bank of America and American Express have two different kinds of customers. And that's the main thing, is there's two different kinds of customers. That could be what they're seeing. Now, one that I want to point out is IBM. IBM's at an all-time high, or I'm sorry, like a yearly high or something. Let's just get rid of that. Remove all properties. But if we look at IBM and we look at a weekly on IBM, you can see if we go to a quarterly, it's quietly just come back to, previous high levels. It's not doing anything spectacular, but IBM is involved in quantum computing and other things. I thought it was interesting yesterday. It's a 6-year high is my note that we have. Now, Oracle is coming up with earnings next week. You guys know that listen to the podcast. This is one of my podcast favorites. It's kind of getting a button hook in here. It is down 0.2%. It's at 114. When it was at 103, I said, this is a $120 stock. I like this gap to get filled up here to 123. I wonder if this is the time when it pops. Maybe they come out with something with AI. Maybe they buy something or they announce something that they're buying that's good. But Oracle's coming up with earnings. I'm still not in this one. Why I'm not in this one? Because I love it so much. I just don't know. I do hold it through ETFs. So I do have it in ETFs. It's got a PE of 34. That's not crazy. The great thing is the forward PE is only 18. So if they continue to grow, it's a solid thing. It's only up 40%. You can see the double top right up here at 126. That's where this gap kind of goes to. It's 125, 126. That's where the double top is. So to get through that is going to be quite difficult. So if it were me trading this one, I've lost confirmation. I have this 103. I'm coming up on earnings. Personally, I'm probably taking the profits. But if you hold on, there is that golden cross that's happening. So if you wanted to get in and play that one's a solid one. Just looking at some of the names in the portfolio, look at that gap. And then you had that button hook down there. Did it get you out? No, the algorithm didn't get you out. So we're going to actually remove this annotation, remove all annotations. But Costco's at 600. Remember when you had a chance to buy it at 553 when it hit the 200 day back in October? Yeah. Shopify is over 70. Shopify had a vendor's day, 73.56. This one hasn't lost confirmation. It's still going. I've told you, I think it's an $80 stock. I think this one gets back there. If we look at a long term on Shopify, again, it's core portfolio. I think you're going to get to this $80 level and probably reject back down. To get above that, it's got to continue, but it's such a strong one. Pan W, which is in the core portfolio. Again, Pan W at 250. I said this is a solid stock to buy at 250 because I think their earnings, who's not spending money on cybersecurity. We've got confirmation. It's at 294. It's going to go over 300. The problem that you have with this one is valuation, but who's not spending money on cybersecurity? Roblox back over 40. It's at $40.84. It's still got confirmation. This one's just kind of floundering in this area. It pulled back from 40 down to about 37 and then just regained confirmation along the way. So it's moved on its way back. We went over Bank of America. It's above 30. It's almost to 31. It's at $30.90 in pre-market. Boeing has slowly come back to $236. Remember down here back in October when I said, hey, it's under 200. I don't worry about how far it goes under 200. Buy it under 200. I do own this one under 200. I don't have much of it under 200. It's a four-figure investment. So it's not much, but I do own it. And the reason I own it is because it's just a solid company. It's got confirmation. This right here is 234. If we went to a weekly, that was where you saw some resistance levels. If you looked at it from this standpoint, and we're going to pull that down a little bit. We're going to expand that up. If you look at it from this point, you saw it kind of get above here, get above there, come back down, get above there, come back down. This is a weekly chart. So, but down here, solid buys. You could have bought it in May 2022, held it all the way till October, and you didn't make any money. If you got out of it once you got up here, you made some money. Once it got up here, it rejected a little bit close to the 200-day. 200-day was still negative. The 50-day just crossed the 200-day. So you just got the golden cross back here in September. If you bought it in September at 202 and then it dipped down to 180, hopefully you were adding. If you weren't, big deal. You still got your 10% now. But Boeing's up there, and it's quietly gone back. The Brad Gerstner tweet. Oh, this is bullish. Look at this for Tesla. Sawyer Merritt. He's a great Tesla. I mean, he's a longtime Tesla bull, but In an interview, Elon Musk says they're far advanced in the development of their next low-cost vehicle. This is what's rumored to be the Model 2. This would be huge. This is what they're rumored to start building in Mexico when that gigafactory actually comes up. That will be a huge, huge catalyst for this stock. Tesla has quietly made its way up. It's up 1.64, 240. So you're just kind of capitulating right here under the 200-day. The question is that are you going to get above that 200-day and hold it? If not, I mean, look at the 50-day. I mean, and the Bollinger Bands are cinching up. It could be coming up here, but another solid tweet from Sawyer. I posted out yesterday in my Twitter, NVIDIA. Let me just get out of that. NVIDIA seems to be turning around. Still not a buy in the 4-hour algorithm trend strider, but it's getting there. And I tweeted out this chart. And so we don't have confirmation on the 9-day. Using the 200 days support, MACD turning up, RSI coming slightly off. I posted that in Twitter yesterday. So let's go and let's look at an updated chart of NVIDIA, because I believe yesterday it did have a very good day and it probably gained. We're going to get rid of all of these, remove all annotations. I don't want to be distracted by what I wrote yesterday. Look, we have confirmation. So the algorithm will be getting you back in. The MACD is going to cross up. The RSI is at 42. It's a $500 stock and you're trading at 470. Do you care if it goes down to 420? Just buy more. That's the issue that you have with NVIDIA. Just buy more. MongoDB. I posted this yesterday. This is mine. Any reaction is an overreaction. Solid earnings. So buy it for a bounce, MDB. And then I posted, if we go to my profile, I posted a mobile app screenshot, I believe. Yeah, this is the mobile app screenshot. MongoDB starting to recover off of 400. I love the TrendSpider mobile app. So MDB, let's look at MDB. MongoDB is at 402. I think if you get this close to 400, I think you're fine. If we look at 402, it's right here. The MongoDB got you in here at 336. So it's been on a solid run. If you got out before earnings, there was no reason to get out before earnings, but that's a solid 28% run. You've since lost. It looks like it's down 6%. I think this is just a speed bump in the road. The earnings were actually solid. Go and read the Stock Market Nerd. Go and read Shea Boular. Go and read those guys about MongoDB. The actual earnings were solid. I don't know why it was down. This is a great video from yesterday. Anybody that's in PayPal, I would urge you to go watch this video from Josh Brown about PayPal. And it's NXP, but specifically about PayPal and how Josh Brown is adding to it. It's just the margins. I mean, the margins are tough. So go and watch that video. I'll include it in my newsletter. Social request. JWeb, could you talk about Spotify stock? It's been up lately, and since it's one of the biggest music platforms, I want to get your thoughts on the future potential of this stock. Spotify, so Spotify hosts my podcast. I do it through Spotify for podcasters. I love their platform. They make it so easy for me as a podcaster. So I did buy a few shares, and I was given actual shares in my Webull account. We'll look at Webull right now. I'll tell you how many I have. Spotify, I have 1.5 shares, 1.5 shares. It's 1.41, so it's about 1.5. About $200 worth. I am up, it looks like 12%. On that, my average purchase price is $200, and it's trading at $244. I'm sorry, it's at 200. 200. I don't know. I can't really read Webull. I need my glasses on to read Webull. But here's the stock chart. The problem that you have is it's run so much, and it's at all-time highs. And the valuation of it is crazy. And the other thing that I was watching last night, if you Google this, if we just go to YouTube and we go to launder money through Spotify, and this is an actual thing, how to launder money through Spotify, how criminals are using Spotify to launder money. And essentially what all of these videos talk about, and this is what kind of got me a little bit nervous about this 52-week high. Spotify knows about this. Essentially what in Sweden, there's a whole mafia gang that hires young musicians because they won't go to jail. And they're using these young musicians to get Spotify plays, and they're doing click farms to get streams, and Spotify is just continuing to pay it. Essentially, these guys are actually making money by laundering money. So typically when you launder money, you lose 3, 4, 5, up to 50% so that you could launder the money that you make. But these guys are actually making money on this. So if you go on YouTube and you look at this, I don't know how spot on it is per se, but they're losing $774 million. The reason they're going up is because their numbers, they are just dominating this business. So I have a feeling, I was around for dot bomb, and if you remember dot bomb, essentially what it was any new website that came out, and pets.com was just like a beacon for this one. Pets.com came out. They put up a website that just basically had, hey, our pet store is coming soon. I believe they doubled in value overnight when they said they had a website. That was the dot bomb. That's what this seems to me to be, is that Spotify is just collecting all of their users and they're putting it out there. At some point in time, that 140 forward PE needs to come down. It's up 132%. So, the 52-week high is 201. You're 1% away from your 52-week high. I don't think you should get into a stock that's at its 52-week high that's not making money. Yeah, sure. When they start making money, that's going to be the time when the stock really explodes. But will it really explode off a 140 PE? I don't know. I mean, there's no insider selling. There's no nothing. I would be a little bit nervous, and I am a little bit nervous, but let's be honest. I own a couple of shares of this. It's not like I'm pouring money into it. So, Hermé 25 from Spotify. Ironically, J-Web was from Spotify as well. Wants to know about safety shot. I know nothing about this stock. Oof. This just screams of retail. $1.36. Let's see what they do. Shot. They are a beverage company. Let's see. Engages the business of developing cannabinoid. So it's a cannabis stock, wellness products. So it's a cannabis stock. I would probably stay away from it, but I don't know much about it. Let's look at the valuation. They're losing $17 million. They only have a market cap of 186. They have 16 cents for 41 million. What's 41 million times 0.16? Let's see what Siri says.
Is $6,560,000.
They have $6 million in the bank, and they're losing $17 million. Why would I want to invest in a company that has $6 million, but they're losing $17 million? They're going to have to dilute. So essentially, people will, you're going to get half the shares. You can look at some of the news. Let's look at a shot in Seeking Alpha. Let's look. Shot. Shot, safety shot. Sell from Seeking Cover Analyst. Yeah. Safety shot, mixed sentiment after a 1,000% rally. I mean, if you want to read this article, I'll include this in the newsletter from Seeking Alpha. I'll include that link for you, Hermé. For me, that's too rich. It's too fast, and I'd be getting out. I mean, this is kind of like VinFast, VFS. Remember this one that was up 8,000% in this one just from retail? Yeah, it went all the way up to like $70, $80, maybe $90. It's $7.69. I think that's where you're going with shot, is that if you have that much of a strong rally, it's bound to come down. I mean, it's not like the valuation changed. So I would be a little bit wary of that one. Bullish Bites from Instagram wants me to look at Cat. I had a great chat with him last night. These are two guys. I'll include this in the newsletter. Click on them. Follow them on Instagram. Two young kids who are starting to look at stocks. they've had some great calls, CrowdStrike in particular, and a few others. So they're doing their research. They're doing the logical thing. I had a talk with them last night. They want to start a podcast. So follow them on Instagram. But they want me to look at Cat. I think his dad owns this one. And good, because, you shouldn't be 20 years old and looking at Caterpillar as, oh my God, I want to get into this one. Cat, the algorithm got you in at 241. This has been beaten down. I do own this one. And I own this one in my Webull account as well. I bought a couple of shares. Let's see. Caterpillar, I bought 2 shares. Just outright 2 shares. And I guess, I don't even know my price. I am down 1% on Caterpillar. So I think I bought it like 5 something. Back here, I bought it on the way up. Didn't sell it when it got up in this area. I don't even know what I'm reading on. Maybe it's $500 that I paid, but so it's like $250. But yeah, I mean, long term, I think this is a solid play. I don't think that, if you're looking for something to trade, this doesn't have the volatility that you want to trade. If you were looking to get in at 220, I'd have said, hell yeah, get in at 220. If you're looking to get in at 230, 240, I think that's fine too. I think it's a $300 stock. The PE and the forward PE are not crazy. Let's see, market cap of 132 billion. They've got plenty of cash on hand. They're up 8% year to date. Their 52-week high is 293. That's 11%. You're 27% above your 52-week low, which was 204. So you're kind of on the high side, but I think for the long term, you're perfectly fine. The average target price is 265. It's a little bit, extended. 250 is the most recent analyst number. If we go over to FinViz and we look, it's just, there's nothing super exciting about it. Seeking Alpha analyst buy. Wall Street says hold. Quant says strong buy at 4.62. I will tell you that's a strong quant buy at 4.62. I'm not loading up the Brinks truck into this one, but I think your downside is limited. If we look at, let me just pull some of this, the volume to see where people are holding. We're going to go back here. And if you look, you haven't built your volume shelf up here. So your volume shelf is really at 220. And that's where the majority of people are holding. It's not like they're going to sell. As you get down to here, yeah, people will start to sell. But that's where people are still holding. That's where it's built its shelf. People just loaded up on this at 220. Starting to load up on it at 250. If this shelf kind of moves forward a little bit from 246 to 250, I think you've got some solid support there. But I do think that's a long-term play. So Bullish Bites, again, I'll include those guys in the newsletter. Follow them. Click on their stuff. Scans, HIBS, which is a triple levered ETF it's a bear on the S&P 500. This one on the 4-hour, $37.95. I don't know that you want to go against this market. Now, I will tell you there's some in this market like Palantir. I sold at 20. It's now at 1776. You're going to be using this 200-day as the next support level at 16. I said that, 1693. I think you've started to fill this gap. If you fill the gap completely, you're coming down to 15. I think there's a lot of selling in this one. Let's see. PLTR. So there's opportunities in this market to actually buy. May not seem very, very good to hold. Look, December 4th. They're selling $10 million. This is one of these dudes who's a director or something like that. They're selling $10 million at $20. Everybody's selling at 20 and 21. Don't say it's like crazy that, oh my God, they're selling all that stock. Why are they doing this? This is a $25 stock. These are insiders making money. These are absolute 100% insiders that are making money. So they're pulling the stock price down. So you got to know that 20 was a key level for this one. Uber is a good example. This one got up to 60, got included in the S&P 500. It's now at 59.52. I'm going to sell at 60. I'm not taking the whole lot off, but I am going to sell at 60. It hit 60. It pulled back. I think it's going to hit 60 again. HIBS is the only one that I scanned that actually had a cross up and looks bullish. So for the newsletter, I will include a list of the core portfolio stocks that are current buys in the 65-minute algorithm. And if you know about the 65-minute algorithm, it uses an 8-day EMA. And this was developed by David Yoakum from TrendSpider. And like Google, 131.98 here yesterday at the 1140 candle. If you know about the 65-minute candles, the reason TrendSpider loves 65-minute candles is the day is split up between 7 exact candles. You don't want to use, on both of my algorithms, do not use extended hours. Just use regular hours. But the 65-minute gets you in. Here on Google, you make 19%. Now, buying and holding, you make 22%. But remember, getting in and out of these things provides you some safety. So 19% with a safety lever of actual, drawdowns. Yeah, that's a good algorithm right there. VOO. We talked about, VOO and chill a lot. VOO, you're still in on the 65-minute. If you want to trade VOO. Now, you only make 2% trading VOO versus, over 8 months, you're up 11%. But you look for entries. And this entry right here at about 419, you're trading at 420. So that's one that you look for entries on. SMCI, which is one of my favorite ones, which just hasn't come back. We're going to pull these out of here. So we're not. Let me see. I'm going to remove all annotations so that I can see this. Yeah. 253.27. You're trading at 263. It's up there. You're just crossing the 200-day. I think it's solid. You have confirmation. The 9 days starting to turn positive again. So, the 65-minute, I'll include all of those names. Now, if you got through this and you're saying, oh, I don't remember where to go, well, any link that I have is in Linktree, linktr.ee/daily stock pick. It is down below. I put it on the screen. It's on there all the time. If you're watching this on Spotify, if you're listening on Spotify, just go to the Spotify app and you'll see the video because that's what I do with all the video podcasts. If you are on Apple Podcast, you'll have to go to YouTube or see the video, but there's links down below. All the links are in the Linktree. TrendSpider is right there. Seeking Alpha is right there. Webull. If you don't have Webull, I don't know what you're doing, but click on this link to get Webull. You get some free stocks, I believe, as well. The newsletter, it is free during the week. It is paid on the weekends. Visible, if you're paying anything more than $25 per month for your phone service, Visible has a plan for $25. It's the plan I'm on. This link saves you $20. If you're buying a Tesla, there's a Tesla right there. If you have AT&T fiber at your home, one that I do think, I do have a Fire podcast, and it's 3 episodes. It's not crazy. It's 3 episodes. And for somebody selling you, FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. It's what I did at 49 years of age. I left my job, and this is what I do full time now. But the podcast is on, I don't know if it's on Apple Podcasts yet. I forgot to put it up there, but it's on Spotify, and you can find it. I'll link it in the thing. But mint.com is going away. So Empower is the next app that I'm going to start using. In the Fire podcast, I suggested people track their expenses and they use Mint. I do it every day the way I set it up. And I've been doing that for probably about 15, 20 years on Mint. It's been a long time. Let's just say that. It's going to be a little bit hard to change to Empower. I've started it. It's the most similar to Mint that I can get. So there's that one. And if you want any of the other things, they're all up here, all the socials. So that's it. I'll take care. I will talk to you tomorrow. Let's hope that GameStop, if GameStop goes to $40, I mean, I'm throwing it in towel. Podcast is over. Yeah, but let's watch those earnings. Okay, take care. See you. Bye. Okay, now I can read your comments. Oh, 8 bank CEOs on Capitol Hill. F Capitol Hill. These senators sit up there like they, F them. I trade better when I run. Yeah. I need to get going running again. Scott, it's not about your weight because listen, I've got the wrist size of a 15-year-old bulimic girl. So Yeah, I need stem cells. Morning, Zephin. Okay, let me look. Ada, you're not late to get into crypto. I mean, here's the thing. Let's look at Mara. We'll look at Mara, for instance. We'll go to the 4 hour and look at Mara. Let's pull this back here. Okay. And I'm going to pull this to a weekly. So here's Mara on a weekly. We're going to shrink this up a little. Okay. I can't do it that full. You know what? We're going to get out of the strategy tester. Okay. And here's the weekly on Mara. If we look, you can see, here's the top. There's the top at about 85. You're trading at 15. The top came in 2021, November 2021. You're trading at 15. That was when Bitcoin was at 60,000. So you still have 70%. No, I'm sorry, 421% to get there. So are you late? I don't think so. But you can see here what I'd be worried about is if we just take 3 at the bottom and then we take that right there at about 20. $20 is going to be I don't have any doubts in my mind that this gets to $20 on this run. So if you want to trade at 15 and go to 20, I think that's a solid trade. Mara in particular, I don't see Bitcoin pulling back. I mean, what's the catalyst for Bitcoin pulling back? I think you're going to get the spot ETF. And I think shortly after that, you will see a sell-off. Right now, I don't see a sell-off happening in Bitcoin. And in fact, ZipTrader had a great ZipTrader YouTube. He had a great video last night about, let's see if he's got it up here. Yeah, going all in. Now, here's what you have to understand. This video was designed to sell his options course. It was not designed to do anything other than sell his options course because he wants you to trade options in Mara. But the fundamental analysis, absolutely 100% solid analysis. This dude, I mean, he's just putting up the same thumbnail every day with run fast, sold 100%, getting out of California. That's him and his girlfriend. They moved to Florida. So, he's got a solid fundamental. Do not buy his options course. I mean, do not pay $400 to this guy. I don't think he's a charlatan. I just think you can go on his playlist and, the $400 is solid if you want to join a trading community. His ZipTrader U that gets you into the Discord and things of that sort. I think that's worth it. And I think he's one of the least charlatan people. But there's a reason he's worth about $10 million. And it's from, people paying $400 and then going and trading. So he's got 600K subscribers. He's a pretty solid dude. I mean, I can't say anything bad about him. I don't think he's, stripping his audience, but I do think, $400 for a course that you can learn online. Join Fidelity. They've got a great options training platform for free. I mean, it's just, solid. What's down 3%? Palantir's down 3%. Yeah, but Ada, I don't think you're too late to get in. I'd just be a little bit worried that, you got to kind of understand that, hey, at some point, Bitcoin will pull back. I just don't see it happening until there's some news on that Bitcoin. Now, if the Bitcoin ETF, if they announce that, hey, we're not going to approve any Bitcoin ETF, holy crap. Then you've got real problems. Morgan Stanley, Zephin. I own this one. I mean, it's a solid run. Look, 70 to 81. It's going to hit that 200 day. It's going to pull back a little bit. I mean, that to me is, I have Bank of America. It's traded over the 200 day. I have Wells Fargo. It's trading over the 200 day. I have Citibank. It's trading over its 200 day. So Morgan Stanley might be an opportunity. It's just probably, the PE is a little bit extended. Let's look. Bank of America. Yeah, Bank of America is 8, 9. Let's look at Wells Fargo. WFC. Yeah, Morgan Stanley is just a little bit expensive, but it's not crazy. Exxon. Boy, Exxon announced that they're going to continue to buy back stock. It's at 100. I mean, it's at 100. Now, if we go over here to FinViz and we look, oil's just continuing its way down. I mean, it's at $70. We're pumping out a ton of oil. OPEC can't cut fast enough. So Exxon's going to trade with the price of oil. And CHX. I don't know what CHX is. Champion X. Is this a champion like T-shirt champion? Oil and gas. It's oil and gas. It's a big PE for oil and gas. 1.12. The chart doesn't instill confidence. What the hell's going on with this one? $37 target price. I mean, this is just the price of oil. Zevon, you asked me about oil stocks. I mean, it's the price of oil. It's going to trade with the price of oil. So, Brandon, I don't do predictions on SPY, but I will tell you. I mean, Tom Lee is talking about $480 on SPY. I think that's a little bit extended. If I look at the weekly on this one, you can see that right there is at 455, and we're trading at 457. I said that's going to provide some resistance. I continue to think that we provide some resistance here. If you close above 455 today, I think you've got a solid rally on your hands. So, Chevron. You want Chevron. Yeah, Exxon and Chevron. I mean, Chevron is down at 142. Both of them are just going to trade with the price of oil. So if the price of oil goes up, Chevron, and they trade, Chevron has a PE of 10, a forward PE of 9. I mean, they're down at their 52-week lows. Look, Chevron's 52-week low is 140. I mean, energy has fallen out of favor. And when you read about traders and things, nobody knows why energy is trading this low. Everybody thought that we had kind of come into, if you look at a monthly on energy, I mean, we're high. So Exxon, coming down to 100 is not crazy. You've just got this 50-day that's continuing back here. So in my mind, I've got some exposure to energy. I'm probably going to pull the trigger on half my energy stuff by the end of the year because I think next year we will probably see a continued tech rally. I don't think that energy will rally another 60%. I think you've had it. I think those PEs are probably extended. As we can, Trump, I heard yesterday, was talking about we're going to drill. We're already fucking energy independent. I mean, we really are. The only thing that the Democrats want to do is move to renewables and they want to reduce the reliance. And I saw a great story yesterday. And God, I forget where I saw it. It might have been YouTube. But the guy was saying, hey, we can either invest in continued reliance, or we can invest in renewables. And both will be expensive. Investing in continued reliance is going to be less expensive, but it puts us behind the 8 ball in a renewable climate where you don't have, as much oil being pumped out. We're going to be, the dirtiest country on earth. So unless you make the move to, it's actually in the long run, it's kind of like an electric car. An electric car, it costs you a lot of money up front, but it's been shown in the long term, it's carbon neutral or less carbon than an ICE vehicle. And it winds up costing you less because of the maintenance. So that's the way I look at energy. Is I think we may have had our run. There's still money to be made in trading this, because I think oil is probably one of the most volatile things, just from a supply demand standpoint. But I'm not pouring money into these things saying, oh my God, they've got to go up, because look at that weekly. I continue to go back to it, but QCLN. This is just a solid, if you go over here to Seeking Alpha, and look at the holdings. There's your list of renewables. Tesla. Tesla is going to be a renewable energy company. That's a solid play. You've got First Solar. You got Rivian. You got onsemi, Albemarle, Energy, Enphase Energy, Universal Display. You could look at any one of these stocks and see it. But, the problem that you have with clean energy is it's not in favor. And so higher rates, I look at Sedge. Sedge is just, that CEO that came out and said, we just don't have any freaking orders. That's where I'm kind of like, ugh, God. So I don't know, I group, whether it's renewable, whether it's anything else. If you want to invest in clean energy, I would say QCLN. I still hold it. Yes, I do. I do believe in this one, so I do hold it. The 50-day starting to move positive. But, you look at something like Exxon, and Exxon, the 50 days moving negative. You look at something like Chevron, and the 50 days moving negative. You don't have that midterm range. So I that's where I'm like, okay, energy, am I going to, dump my Devon? No, I'm not going to dump my Devon, at 43. But, you look at a long term of Devon, and it makes sense that even at 43, it's not even down to its 200 day, and for years, this one, if we go to a monthly on Devon, just look at a monthly, look at how many years it traded under the 200 day. This is going all the way back to 2015. It didn't hit the 200 day again until 2027. That's 7 years. And you just got kind of dragged back under it. So long term, it's a little bit difficult to kind of say where it's going to go. But I do think you're at a low right now. When I look at $70, I think that's the low as far as it's going to go. So if I'm looking to get out of it, I'm not looking to get out of it right now. Yeah, and shale is just killing. We're pulling more energy out of the U.S. than anywhere. Yeah, well, it was funny because I was driving up with my girlfriend from Atlanta, and she was commenting about how cheap gas was in the rural counties. I think it was down to like $1.99, to be honest with you. And, here's the thing. Trump is the only one saying that we need to bring prices down. Prices are pretty relatively stable. I don't think you need to bring them down. We're drilling enough. We're doing fine. Yeah, Scott's in that California area. You guys have that special blend, and I think you guys play somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.20 taxes. Yes, Christian, except, and I will say this, except when you compare it to an ICE vehicle, I don't think it's equal dependence. Saying that, yeah, they're still dependent on it, absolutely 100%, but I don't think they're equal. Okay, I got a dog staring at me. So let me go take her out. And it's 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's 10:15. Okay, I'll get the newsletter out.